Question.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last broadcast here from ICast 2022. Got Blake Young, Brian Connolly. You guys submitted some questions. If you guys are watching, you have more questions, please drop those down in the chat. We will get them answered for you. But we'll kick it off with some that Brian has pulled up on the old Instagram here. So in regards to the transducer retract system, Kevin Bell wants to know, is there an option for the Lowrance split shot? Which model option will work with it?
Well, you really put me on the spot here. Yeah, I believe split shot does work. Off the top of my head, I don't know. We'd have to pull that up and look at it, but I believe one of those versions will work. We haven't come across any transducer that we haven't been able to make work. A couple of them, as they've come in, we've had to make some modifications and such for them to work.
Okay.
But the Lowrance ones have all worked just fine with one of the two kits. So
Sure.
we'll look into that and we'll get back to you on the comments.
Okay. How is production on the Unlimited coming along? Are materials and parts still scarce?
Production's pretty good. We haven't really had any downtime due to materials or parts, anything going into the boats. Really, any delays that we've experienced have been, just factory production, staffing, all that kind of stuff. So we've held up pretty well this year. We've stayed pretty much on schedule, and things have gone a lot more consistently over the prior year. There have been some cases, with things like decking pads.
Yeah.
Where suppliers are just way behind schedule, and we're sitting there going, okay, do we stop shipping boats for 3 weeks, or do we ship the boats and then the decking kits will have to catch up? We've gone for that option because we don't want to just, lock things up. So, but yeah, overall, we've held in pretty well. Haven't really lost any downtime to that.
Yeah.
And are continuing to crank out boats.
Cool. Production is rocking. What's the max weight that should be allowed on the buddy seat in the Flint? Another on the spot technical question.
Well, a little NuCanoe history for you. That buddy seat is the original bench seat for the classic models going back to like 2006.
Okay.
And so with those seats, I mean, the Classic 10, Classic 12, these were good boats that big guys were using that, it was kind of like the predecessor to the Frontier 12 and F10. So I don't have a weight limit for it. I'll tell you what, you're going to overload that Flint before you're going to overload that buddy seat. So
nice. Good answer. Good answer. What's the best entry level pedal system and kayak for a 6'4", 290-pound guy? You want me to take that one? Because
sure,
I'm pretty close to that. I would say you'd either want to look at the Unlimited, the Pursuit, or the F12. All three of those boats are going to be super sufficient to handle your size and weight. I've fished out of all of them. I've stood out of all of them. Our pivot drive system goes into all three options. But for a bigger guy, like most bigger guys go towards the Unlimited or the F12. Both great options. Both lay out a little bit differently deck-wise. But either or, going to totally suit your needs. You'll have zero issues. Anything to add to that? You look like you wanted to say something.
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Really, like you said, there's no perfect kayak. It's just about finding the right fit for the right person in the right situation. If you can try a couple of them out, that's ideal. It really just depends on, what you're comfortable with, what your goals are, how what you value the most.
Yeah, go on our website, go to the dealer locator section, find a dealer close to you, schedule a demo with them. 99% of all our dealers have demo boats. That's the best way to check it out. It's like buying a car, right? You want to take it for a test drive, make sure it's a right fit for you, and it's the same way with the kayaks.
Yeah.
So,
it looks like we have one question that came in though.
It says, give us some hints about what's new on the horizon, from Mike Archer. That's out of my wheelhouse, Blake.
Hey, Mike, appreciate your comments and support throughout the show. I know you've chimed in a lot. One thing we've learned over the years is that it's a lot better to have something new and then talk about it than to talk about what you're planning on doing or what you have in the works, because it just gets complicated, and then sometimes you build yourself timelines you want to stick to, then you rush things through, or there's delays and people are disappointed. So I can guarantee you that we're always working on new stuff. We're currently working on new stuff, but I don't have any hints for you, Mike. I apologize.
Mike's day just got ruined, Nick.
I got a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Brian, it's your first ICast, man. What is like the thing that has struck you the most about being here at the show?
I think the thing that struck me the most is the camaraderie in the community. Like outside of even the fishing kayak community, like that's tight knit, right? But you even go outside of that and you look at like the bass fishing community or like the offshore community or like flats community, whatever it is. It's amazing to see them all interact at ICast. It's my first time walking around, engaging with the brands, engaging with the dealers, and like all these people who are in the industry. They all know each other, especially with NuCanoe guys. Like they're like rock stars around here. So it's awesome. Like being all like I'm like tagging along with the posses and everyone's like introducing me and it's fun. It feels like we're in like Hollywood and like movie stars or something like that. So it's a good time.
So, did I warn you in advance that the average ICast day starts about 8 and goes to about midnight, maybe a little bit later?
Yeah, no, that heads up was great. I think the moment I got off the plane, I think I snagged an hour's sleep. I slept on the plane maybe 45 minutes, out of like an hour's sleep, and then like Blake was like picking me up. He's like, "Okay, man, we're gonna move some boats," and like I don't think I've stopped since then. I took a couple naps, like during the night, and that's about it. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it's funny. I know some of the guys dragged you out last night. And you were like, "You mean I could just stay here? I don't have to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, you could stay here. I'm not going." So, it's one of those things. So, again, first ICast, what was one of the coolest things that you saw here at ICast this year?
One of the coolest things I saw. The construction of the booths. Some of these booths are so elaborate. They involve live bass. They involve building tree houses. They involve building mock little houses. Like the amount of we put our booth together and it's a lot of work and it looks great. Like I love our booth. But then to like look at those and see, like how long it would take me and a crew to like put some of those things together. Like they're out there just like hammering away like days in advance, and I'm like it's pretty magnificent to see the constructions they have.
I told Brian what's really going to blow his mind is you look around here, it's 2 o'clock, 2:15. It looks like a trade show. By our third place, it look like an empty concrete pavilion. And things take 2-3 days to go up, but they come down in like 90 minutes.
Super fast. It's been super cool. This is my second year. My first year was last year. And, the thing I want to point out too, like, there's a lot of guys that wish they were here, things like that. But it's a lot of work that goes into this show for all these vendors. So it's always super cool to be down here for me, be with the team guys that I don't see from different parts of the country other than this show, and, it's always great to, have dinner and drinks with you guys and just catch up on things that we don't normally talk about from day to day, So
Definitely.
Anything you want to add to that? I think we got one more question.
No, I think getting together and having FaceTime with our team, with owners. You get a lot of NuCanoe owners, guys that just pop in and say, "Hey, I got my Frontier 12 still from 6 years ago. I love it." Just connecting with those people, talking to dealers face to face, and having conversation with new dealers and just seeing kind of their eyes light up and their wheels start spinning when they're like, "Wait a minute. I'm going to have one model of kayak that could be set up all these different ways, and I could interchange them, and I can do this." And wow, it's just like, well, they really get it. It makes a lot of sense, and that's fun to see.
Well, and that's a great question, right? Because we had quite a few people come through the booth, potential new dealers, like in years past to this year. Like, what's it been traffic-wise for new dealer interest?
It's always, it's one of our main goals coming to the show is trying to bring on new dealers where we don't have them. And I'd say this year we've had really probably more really solid prospects. Yeah. The ones that we've talked to that are interested in brand, really stores that are really, doing things or been around a long time or ambitious. And so that's been awesome. Just kind of look at the draw. In some cases, most of them haven't been located near another dealer. Because sometimes if, it's a good-looking shop that wants to bring on your boats, but they're 15 miles from an existing dealer that's doing well, you just, man, I really wish you were located somewhere else so we could work together. But so this year, that's been great.
Very cool. James O'Neill's in the chat. He said, Hey guys, congrats on another ICast show. Richard DeVries from Eastport Marina says, still looking for that jousting kayak in time for the Dale Hollow event. So we Paddle and Fin holds an event, a kayak tournament down there every year, and we've been joking around that we're going to joust some kayaks, put Newport vessels on the back, and see who's the last man standing. So might happen, just saying. But Brian, let's get some thoughts from you, man. Just an all-around general wrap-up of ICast for you, for new experience, all that stuff.
Yeah, I would say like general thoughts. Like it's very large, it's very exciting, and it's very engaging, right? So it's a little sleep, it's a lot of like fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of work, right? And kind of to touch on what Blake said, I really enjoy kind of helping with some of the design of the booth ahead of time, like asking questions, giving feedback, and seeing the 3 Unlimiteds play out pretty well. We could do the pivot drive, we could do the motor guide, and we could do the EPS system, and like showcasing the quick connect in so many different ways, from the rudder to the torpedo to the EPS, and like being able to do hot swaps, seeing people's eyes light up when they get it. You know, I feel like it was a lot of work from a lot of people to get this brand to the place where things are plug and play, and things are like you can just walk up and you see it. You know, you see the gear pod lift out, you see the XI3 retract, you see the rudder going. Like, it's working, and it's exciting to be here, man.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see a lot of cool things from video, but being able to put your hands on it and see it firsthand gives you a totally different experience for sure. Blake, final thoughts, wrap-ups for NuCanoe ICast 2022.
Great show. I really enjoyed it. You know, definitely awesome to spend time with all the team guys, and so grateful for Brian and Stuart and Mike and Will and, you know, Jordan, all the guys that come here, take time out of their schedule, time off work, just to be here and be a part of this, support NuCanoe, you know, really work hard while playing hard and having fun too. It's a great time. It's been really fun talking with dealers about our vision for, you know, you have the models, you have pedal paddle power, you have the quick connect system, the different motors, and setting things up and really presenting it more as a package instead of, well, you got a kayak and you could do this with it. It's like, sure, here's a kayak that's set up with all this stuff and ready to go. Some people see that in the stores, you know, it just makes sense. They're like, wow, that's really sweet. Yeah. And we're seeing more and more people that are choosing a kayak over like a bass boat or a flats boat, you know, not because of money. I mean, yeah, they're happy to save money, but really it's like, it's going to be a better fishing solution, sure, a better solution for what they want to do. So that's really cool to see. And I guess last, I got to give a shout out to my wife. We're here with our kids. You probably saw Swain pop in earlier. So I'm here at the show from, you know, 8 to 7 or whatever. She's taking care of the kids at the pool and running around and doing stuff with them. So very grateful for her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole family's been a part of this. I got to experience that last year, and it's good to see you outside of the business element, you know, enjoying your family. I know you're a big family man, and I know all us NuCanoe guys feel like family. You're dad to us, so in the kayak world. So all appreciate it, and I mean, I've had many conversations with all our guys here, you know, about how great you are, your vision for NuCanoe, and we all appreciate that. You know, it's a family aspect, and you know, you always lean on us for advice and stuff like that and thoughts. And that goes a long way, you know, like me and Stuart had a very long conversation about that last night. You know, like a lot of other companies don't lean on their team guys as much as you do. And it's good because you're getting great feedback and you're doing the right things. And I mean, you could see with the success of the Unlimited launch and things like that, man. So kudos to you. I thank you very much for allowing me to be here. I know I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. It's been worth it, man. And I hope everybody appreciated it. I know I see a comment from Jared Talley in there, and he said the build-off aspect was a really cool addition to the show. And I mentioned to those guys, I think we should do that every year. Thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, we've talked about different things we could do. We talked about having almost like a knockout, you know, build-off competition that could involve owners where, hey, do a 60-second video of your build. We'll put them all in a bracket and let people vote, have some fun with that. We could do that with gear pods. You saw some really sweet gear pod mods here. Yeah. And that's another thing where we could have a little competition. But I think the build off for ICast is something we'll probably continue with because it's a really cool thing and it shows off a lot of the, just kind of the design intent and the functionality of boats and the vision for, some of the different things like the wire access plates and the gear pods and all that, and really showing the full potential of them.
Absolutely. I mean, I did a podcast earlier this morning, and we were talking about that. The kayak space is kind of based around DIY, right? It was DIY for a long time, and now manufacturers like NuCanoe have like solved those issues and made them a much more simpler and easier for the end consumer, which is super cool.
Definitely huge change. I mean, going back to the start of NuCanoe, you could always put a motor on. Sure. We had bow motor mounts back in 2013. We had some motor plates back prior to that, but up until last 2 years, we could never sell just a turnkey solution that fully integrated the motor into the kayak with the mounting and the steering, and no cutting down the shafts or modifications, all that stuff, just straight out of the box. Everything plugs in, works really well, is super easy. No busting out the toolkit and the drills and all that stuff and hacking up your boat. It's all just plug and play. And so that's really just a huge leap forward.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it, guys. You got any final things to add? Anything you want to say?
No, that's all I got. Appreciate you, Brian. Thanks for running all the podcasts, and Brian for lining them all up. And got a great team here. It's been a lot of fun, and about ready for our last Fast and Furious 2 hours once the show wraps up.
Very cool. Brian, anything?
Yeah, basically the same thing. I'm just really excited to be here. Thanks for the invite, and I'm excited for next year, and got some stuff on, man.
We might invite you back next year. Thanks everybody that tuned in all week, man. It's been killer to see all the comments come through, all the views we're getting, positive feedback. I keep seeing bring build off back next year, so I could almost guarantee you that that's going to happen, guys. Glad you guys really enjoyed that aspect of it. I saw Romel right before he left, and he was super grateful, and he had a lot of fun doing it, and he said he's already looking forward to next year. We got Mikey Monavon in the background here from Westbrook, and I know those guys had a great time building out their boat. So we'll see you guys later. Just keep looking for more updates and content coming out in the next few weeks over here at NuCanoe, both on the Facebook and the YouTube pages. And we will see you here live in 2023. As always, boys and girls, till next time, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace.